Also, if you're so inclined, you're technology savvy, you can log in on Facebook. Check us out, Intex News Facebook page. You will see on that page something that I think is quite important. And that is why I'm on radio and not on TV, because I've got the look that fits radio just right. But it's exciting to be here. Professor Tony Seabrook is educating the America's youth, so he's in class today. And unfortunately, Drew, he came down here from Carolina. You know, like he heard about, you go to Florida, retire and kick back, take it easy. He didn't realize, we have a tough allergy season down here in Florida. Right now, all the trees are dropping pollen and, it's beautiful weather. But, boy, if you've got allergies, it's a tough time. And he struggled with some of those allergies. So we wish him well and hope that he's able to get back in here. And if he can make it in, that would be great. But understand that, we know his heart is with us. But I'm here. I've got DJ CEO in the place to be sitting there.
Good morning. Good morning.
I don't even know where to start. There was so much that went on this week. So much that went on this week. So let me unpack a couple of the local things real quick. I am always concerned about the sufficiency of the celebration of Black History Month. In Tampa, we have this incredible event called the Black Heritage Festival.
Yeah.
And the only problem with the Black Heritage Festival is it's in January. That's the only problem with it. And it's a 10-day festival. It encompasses the entire community. There are enormous numbers of charitable activities and events that go on. Music festival that just, is off the chart. If I run down the list of people who've come and performed at that festival, the Tampa organization Black Affairs has this beautiful MLK Day breakfast that challenges everybody for the year. The MLK Day parade and its foundation does a wonderful job with the parade, and that parade has gotten out of control. It's a long parade, and it winds through the African American part of town. And there's just so many. There's a gala associated with it. There are financial empowerment seminars. There are movies that they show. And over a 10-day period in January,
So you think it needs to be in February?
I'm not the person to say what needs and doesn't need. I'm just saying
do you think, would you prefer to see it in February?
I'm just saying I'm drained when it gets to February because that thing is so, and it's not that it's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that it's not Black History Month allows people to focus on it. It's early in January. We dominate the local events market throughout January. It's all, right. But when you get to February, you feel like, man, I just did a lot of Black stuff. I saw a lot of Black people. I spent a lot of money with Black businesses.
Right.
And then we get to February, and sometimes we fall back.
Oh.
People are, I did my Black stuff for the year.
Right.
I'm just calling like it. But anyway, so I'm always watching when we get to Black History Month to see what actually happens. Do people actually then, go out? And so this week, the Middle District of Florida, the federal court system, held a great event. And they did it in conjunction with the George Edgecombe Bar Association here, where they recognized trailblazers. And it was held downtown at the Floridan Hotel. And now, for you all who've been in Tampa a long time ago, you remember way back, before the Floridan got closed, that it was the pinnacle place to hold formal events. It was closed for decades, and they've reopened it about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, and it is spectacular. And I walked in that bar. I hadn't been in that ballroom since 1979.
Is that the hotel that's got the kind of a veranda at the top?
Yes. And it's very old, and they did a good job of just restoring it. They didn't remodel it. They restored it so it has the old architecture, the old flooring. It is just a beautiful thing. It's the kind of building you could pick up and sit down in Chicago and it would fit. You could pick it up and sit it in San Francisco. It would fit. Gotcha. You could put it in from an architectural standpoint.
Right.
The Floridan. And so I'm at this event. It's for trailblazers, and two of them I want to highlight. The first one was Lance Scriven. They recognized Lance Scriven. And Lance Scriven is an incredible lawyer. He is the kind of person that everybody would like to have and know as a mentor. But he was recognized as the first African-American Hillsborough County Bar president. also the first African American on the board of trustees for the state of Florida. So he very great recognition in his regard.
That's good.
And he absorbed the moment, and he told a tearful story there, just watching a man of that stature about how his father in Jacksonville was one of the first black police officers. Resigned to, relegated to only patrolling the black community, just treated horribly. And he had a sign that said colored that his dad had brought home, that his dad took down from over one of the bathrooms that he had kept. That sign came down in 1968. But his dad was one of the first patrolmen in the police department in Jacksonville. He rose to the rank of chief of police.
Wow. From
there to chief of police. His first patrol station was a trailer in the back of public housing. Just horrific start, but just that's the kind of genetics he comes from. So it was just great watching Lance be recognized as a trailblazer by the Middle District, which is not known for its diversity. And then the second trailblazer that they recognized was Judge Charlene Honeywell.
Very good.
And the reason I mentioned her is it's a personal note. She really has mentored and counseled me in some critical moments. She called me, and we had this really massive piece of litigation once when she was a regular circuit court judge that I sat on. Well, here's why she's so important.
Okay.
When President Obama was elected, she was his first judicial appointment.
Did not know that.
Yes. She was his first judicial appointment. And what's even more special is I got a call from DOJ during the vetting process to talk about, her character, her judicial temperament and things of that nature. But knowing that about her also, and how she's handled herself on the bench and whatnot, and it was just really special. So that kicks off the week. You would think that's enough, though. This kicks off the week. And I know we're a national show. I know I appreciate you folks all over the country listening in. I just want to hit this. And maybe in your community things are happening. I would love to hear you call in and talk about those things. The call in.
It's 813-444-9588.
Those are the sultry sounds of DJ CEO. But the second thing, Darryl, that jumped out at me this week was we had our Mayor's Forum. And I had the opportunity to co-host that along with Selena Ward. It was put on by mainly the NAACP, Tampa Hillsborough branch of the NAACP and Tampa Organization Black Affairs. We were the two main funding sources for that. Then we had all of the Divine Nine, and some people doubled up on us. And what I mean by that, Tampa's a growing city. If you're around this country, you don't know about Tampa, you better get your head out the sand. Tampa's where it's at. There's a reason the NCAA comes here. The Super Bowl comes here. There's a reason that 5,000 people a year move to Florida, and a lot of those people end up in Tampa. But Tampa also has a number of Greek chapters. The AKAs have 2 chapters. Yeah. The Deltas have 2 chapters. But all the Divine Nine groups were there, other community organizations were there, helping host this event, and all the candidates showed up. All the mayoral candidates, all the city council candidates. And I'm going to say this to you people around the country. Listen, the black community still is relevant and has a lot of power, economically, politically, and socially. You have to be willing to exercise that power in a judicious manner to get the results you want. And here's why I'm saying that is. Initially, there were people saying, well, that's in the black community. We don't know if we don't come or don't come. And to put it quietly, the NAACP and TOBA and the other kind of said this: try not showing up and see what happens. Just try not showing up. Why don't you give it a run? Well, I'm happy to say everybody showed up. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a good thing.
All right? And we thank them
because they haven't been showing up.
And we told them this will not be tolerated. If you want to get the vote, you're taking our tax money. We bear every burden that any other American bears in this country. So I'm just saying to you, if you're around the country, listen, and it's Black History Month. You can easily get swallowed up in this Smollett situation or even the R. Kelly situation and forget we still are very relevant to what happens in this community. So when we come back, we're gonna take a quick break. I want to jump into a couple of things. I'm gonna start off. We're gonna go ahead and smooth over this Smollett situation. I'm gonna touch on R. Kelly, and then we're gonna get some politics. Okay? You're listening to Straight Up the Middle on In Touch News Radio.
In Touch Radio is smooth soul.
Rocking your radio on the sounds of soul.
Playing your favorite R&B. In Touch Radio.
My name is Gil Sampson. I didn't come from a very rich family, and so paying for college would have been very tough. I don't know if I would have been able to go to the college that I went to, and then I don't know if I would have gotten into the career that I am in. So I think Bright Futures has done a lot to shape my life. Got a job as a structural engineer, and I design residential buildings, commercial buildings all over the United States. Because of Bright Futures, I was able to go to college. You know, so many kids just don't even ever get that opportunity, and to be able to do it and not have any debt when I graduated is amazing, and it was all thanks to Bright Futures.
Florida has created more than 1 million jobs in only 5 years, and a great education connects our students to these exciting opportunities. That's why the Florida Lottery has funded Bright Futures scholarships to help over 725,000 students attend college. Because every play is for education. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for ya. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown 184-361-RIG. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RIG. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RIG. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky.
Smoothing out your favorite R&B flavors.
What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor.
In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back. We're back live here on In Touch News Radio, reality radio. Everybody's a star. By now, you figured it out. I'm flying the plane by myself, and usually when that happens, it leans hard to the left. Hey, we might do a full circle. This thing may lean so far to the left, but we can balance it out with your phone calls. The call-in number is 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. Please call in, or if you're listening to us, you can catch us on YouTube. Go to YouTube Live, look up the In Touch page channel, and check us out there. And we hopefully will be simulcasting shortly on Facebook. So let me back up to this. I got to clean up this Smollett situation because it's really, and how it bends over into politics. When I heard about this, first of all, I'm always sympathetic to somebody who has been attacked or assaulted, or who has suffered, because of who they are. Unfortunately, a lot of times we don't get to choose who we are. I don't get to choose to be 6'5", with broad shoulders. I don't get to choose to have an IQ of 170. I don't get to choose a lot of things about us. We don't get to choose, and I think it's unfortunate when people are attacked and because of what they did, who they are. And so the Smollett case I had a sensitive spot for that age, but then I had some concerns though. The simplest thing. I know basic. Let me just call them this: basic hood rules. Let's go down to basic. I call them basic hood rules.
Okay.
Don't leave your house at 2 a.m. That's just a basic. Anywhere you're going, and it starts with leaving the house at 2 a.m. That's not a good situation
at all.
So that's one of those rules. I'm trying to teach my kids some of these rules. Yeah, that's one you don't want to go do. When it's below freezing outside in Chicago, you don't go outside in the freezing weather. No. You come in. Let me tell you what your parents come in out that weather, boy. Y'all get in this house. It's been a storm. You come in out that kind of weather. You don't go out in that kind. So he was breaking a number of rules. Now, let me say this also. I am a relatively healthy eater. You know, and I associate Subway with people who want to at least make an effort at eating healthy. You don't go get healthy food at 2 a.m. If you're going out at 2 a.m, you have given up. That's fried chicken. That's food truck. That's stopping by and getting some chicken wings. That is not the time to try to be dignified. You're actually you're saying, listen, you know what? I'm getting a mulligan for the day. I'm gonna go tomorrow. So if you're going out at 2 a.m, make that 2 a.m. Go out, go get you some ribs, some fried chicken. Go get you some good hearty food, right? Some pasta with some marinara sauce, some garlic bread and toast to go with it. You go get you some really good, some loaded French fries or nuggets. You go get you some food that's worth the risk of going out at 2 a.m.
Hello.
So when I heard that he went out at that time of the morning, my bell started going off, because he's not new to this. Exactly. He knows the deal. I mean, if I tried to leave the house at that time of morning and go somewhere, my wife would throw a fit.
Absolutely.
You know, she would really throw, because it's really whatever you need to do surely can wait. So let's put that aside. When I heard that he walked by the security folks and didn't tell them in the building what had happened to him, and that he was on the phone with his agent. Now, let me tell y'all something. I love my cell phone. But if somebody comes and starts trying to attack me, I'm dropping my sandwich and my phone, and I'm running.
You're running.
I'm running.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now, so those were some concerns I had. I was just saying, there's a lot of rules being broke. But you know what? He says he was attacked. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know?
I didn't.
Well, I was fighting that, though, Darryl. I was fighting that. You know, I want to give you, at least in my public discourse, I'm going to wait and hold judgment till I get more information, okay? So that's the first thing. So now that it comes out that the Chicago police are saying that this thing was staged so that he could make more money in his career. I just makes me think more that he has other issues, other concerns. But the political fallout to that, DJ CEO, is this. There are a lot of people politically who position themselves in support of that situation because there are real victims out there. There are people really being assaulted and hurt because of the current tenor of our society.
Absolutely.
And those people now have to deal with the backlash of, see, you jumped on this too quick. For example, one of the undercurrents of the Me Too movement has been, nobody will believe me. The undercurrent of this crisis within the Catholic churches, nobody will believe me. And if you think, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, you think the Catholic Church is the only church where you have abuses and things like that going on? Well, you may have another thing coming. Anywhere you have people with absolute power that's unable to be challenged, you're going to have abuses. And that's what is important about scrutiny, oversight. But bigger than that people have a space where they can feel safe to report things that are wrong. But also when that happens, there will be a fair and judicial process of finding out what really happened and whether we just have a different interpretation. That to me is a secondary part to this, because it feeds into a paranoia and empowers a certain kind of people. And guess what? People who are victims are going to be very, very cautious. Last year, I handled a case of a young lady who had been assaulted. And her biggest concern, her parents' biggest concern was, well, will anybody believe her? Will anybody then fairly, adjudicate, justice for her in this situation? That's a bigger concern of anything. And I can only think about so many other people who go through things. So that's the fallout to the Smollett situation that is so, I think, unfortunate. I don't know how Empire responds and survives from that. I really think Empire is going to take a hit. I really do. And the only good thing that Smollett can be happy about, though, DJ CEO, is that R. Kelly got indicted. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it took a little heat off of it.
It's a bad thing. If you line up Smollett, R. Kelly, and Kraft, it's just a bad week. It's a bad week for men. It's just a bad week, And again, I just believe that because Chicago is a very important political market those things are going to come through. And if we talk about R. Kelly just briefly, because I want to get to Bernie Sanders. That's really what's on my mind. Bernie Sanders and how he's trying to position himself. Is this. Is R. Kelly another black man being vilified by the media and by society? Is this another example of power? And so now he's got some not pleasant ways that he handles his social life. Is that what's going on? I mean, I wonder about that. And again, I'm going to try to hold my judgment. I'm happy to say I never saw the fuzzy, grainy tape from back in 2002 or whenever it was that he was alleged to have done those things.
Right.
The argument here is we got a new tape, improved technology. That was it.
High definition.
Well, now I'm gonna tell you this. So I listen with a critical ear.
Okay.
I heard the tape was VHS, and so our immediate thought was, when was the last time I recorded something on VHS? That dated to me. That dated it for me. That this videotape is that old.
So somebody's been holding it.
Well, we understand it from previous reporting. R. Kelly likes to record for posterity.
Encounters, yeah.
Yeah, he likes to record himself, so I could assume that right. But the fact that it's dated, Arnatti or Nettie the attorney, Arnatti or whatever his name is that would represent Stormy Daniels. Whenever he shows up, one of my eyes jumps a little higher too.
Right.
I get a little Avenatti. That's his name, Avenatti. I get a little more. I try to listen a little more for some more details, just so I can start to add up what's happening here, because I don't associate him with just pure justice. That's not. I don't.
Come on, man. He got justice for storming.
Well, he got justice an attorney's fee bill that's $800,000 for the president when he got her. But I was just looking at that, and my first thought was, black man being vilified by circumstances.
Well, let me just say, with R. Kelly, we've been hearing about him throughout his career. That
Bill Cosby.
No, I don't ever remember hearing that Bill Cosby was allegedly doping his women.
Yes. Okay.
I don't.
I heard about it like late 90s.
I don't ever remember anything like
Got
that.
It. Uh-huh.
But perhaps I just think that it's time for R.
The facts for me. I want to hear the facts because the young girl thing bothers me, and I would say this: justice for me with R. Kelly, if it's true, would be some real heavy scrutiny of the parents. Heavy. I'm talking real heavy scrutiny of the parents and his handlers.
Because too many of the parents, in my mind, agreed to let their daughter be in his presence, especially knowing his reputation.
As soon as that happened, day one, hold on, let me call the cops, and they going in here and they're going to get her. She's a minor. She's coming out. Right. What I understand, a lot of these girls, they were minors. They get involved with R. Kelly. Then they become adults, like the young lady that's with him now, and you can't go drag against her will. You can't go and drag her out of that, location. I mean, she's saying, listen, I want to stay. So that thing to me, I think it's sick. I think it's deep. But I want the handlers. And this is often the time with deviant people.
When you say handlers, what do you mean?
Managers, bodyguards, the people that went in the crowd and got those young ladies. I want them part of the conspiracy and complicity. You go after them the way Mueller's gone after all these people around Trump. I think you change the case.
Don't you think he pointed them out and said, that's the one I want right there?
And the bodyguard had to go and get her. And that makes him a complicit. That's my thought process.
So I'm the bodyguard. R. Kelly says, man, I want that girl right there. So I walk over to her and say, hey, R. Kelly wants to see you in his suite. Are you interested in coming up? What do you think she's going to say?
I would like to hope she would say, are you crazy? He's a pedophile. I'm not getting to that grown man. That's what I would hope she would say. What I know she will say, though, is, oh, really?
But as a handler, does that make me complicit?
Yeah, that's no different than going to the mall. Same idea. Let's switch it over. I go to the mall with you, and I said, listen, there's some 10-year-old little girls over there. I want you to invite them to the bathroom.
I got you. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same. It's just they work for him. They know what his intentions are.
Okay, but just think for a second. All right, he points this girl out to me because I'm the handler.
Correct.
He says, I want that girl right there. The one with all the makeup on and the red lipsticks, bring her over here.
Correct.
Okay, now, as a handler, I'm thinking, man, she look like she might be 18 and 19.
Yeah.
She might be 16.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, right.
So should the handler be going looking for her, for the mother or father of that girl, or
let me back you up,
or because they're in a room filled with 10,000 screaming fans, most of whom are girls, you just naturally assume that they're of age.
If all things clean, but
Okay.
watch me. So let me do a little cross examination, if you don't mind, of the witness.
Okay.
How long have you worked for R. Kelly?
It's been about 10 years.
And you're very familiar with R. Kelly's preferences, correct?
I think he likes girls.
Yeah, and you heard the reputation that he has for young girls. In fact, you may have been around him with young girls.
Well, I don't know that for sure.
Okay, great. All right, so at least though, it's in the air.
It has been in the air. I've heard.
Correct, exactly. So if I was a bodyguard, right, I know exactly what I know he likes 15 and younger. I think the number they said 15 and younger is what he goes, all the way down to 12. He's a pretty sick guy. You know, if these things
that's
are true,
I would say yes.
And anyone supporting that around him, you know, anyone who's going along with that kind of stuff, I think should be held accountable as well, because he can't do it by himself. And that's the way I would approach that situation. So, but the idea in my mind, I'm thinking, is this another, you know, being vilified? But man, you know, if the police come after you for something like this, you better clean it up.
And I just cannot understand why, after all these years, there hasn't been a solid case against him.
Because he knows what he's doing, and his handlers. That to me, that's really, you cannot. You know,
he's got to be paying more than his handlers.
Oh, he's got the attorneys, he's got a manager. I think a whole key group of people. So, but anyway, that's the R. Kelly thing, and I think Smollett should be very happy. The people in Chicago got something else to think about besides how he's, you know, he allegedly is making it. And whichever way this thing comes out, it's not a good situation.
I thought that Smollett's attorney, even if you know that your client is guilty, to come out and say that we're going to vigorously defend it, I thought wasn't smart.
So here's how I decode that as a lawyer. Okay. We're gonna make them prove their case. That's what that means. That's not my guy's innocent. See, court trials are not really about whether you did it or didn't do it. It's really about whether the other side can prove their case, and particularly the prosecutor. And the defendant just has to create doubt in the jury's mind as to the prosecutor's case. And so that's one of the things that I think is going to be key watching the play out. But listen, let's put that aside. Smollett has got some cover now. We're going to jump into Bernie. Bernie's declared, y'all. Time to get it on. When we come back, we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders. You're live on In Touch News Radio, Reality Radio, where everybody's a star. Back in a minute.
Keeping you informed, in tuned, and in touch. Your worldwide radio connection. In Touch Radio.
Hello, this is Angie Fox, founder of the Ash Wednesday Cigar Club. We meet every first Wednesday of the month at a Tampa Bay area cigar lounge. $20 per person includes a featured cigar, libation, appetizers, and a door prize ticket. Check out our list of upcoming events at ashwednesdaycigarclub.com.
Hey, Tampa Bay. Want to cruise to Cuba? Tampa to Havana? We've got the best prices. Call Kinsey Travel, 863-274-3715. That's Kinsey Travel, 863-274-3715. Baby, let's cruise.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
Hi, this is Dr. Veronica Walters, also known as Dr. V, the head of school at the Walters Academy for Entrepreneurship, a place that we like to call The Way, where we're educating today's youthpreneurs to be tomorrow's billionaires through social entrepreneurship. Do you have a student who's bored, frustrated, gifted, inquisitive, creative, business-minded? Then maybe you need to check The Way out. Listen, we have an educational platform that allows for individualized instruction It's strength-based, project-based, and designed to help your student become the absolute best they can while starting their own business and being an entrepreneur. If you're looking for something different and you need to find a more excellent way, then you need to visit us at The Way. That's The Way, www.thewaetampa.org. Or you can call us at 813-603-7923. We look forward to showing your student a more excellent way at The Way.
Good morning, and we're back live on Intex News Radio, reality radio, where everybody's a star. This is Clinton Paris. You're on Straight Up the Middle. I know it feels like it's tilting to the left because it is tilting to the left because that's where I'm sitting at. I am on the left. My co-hosts, Anthony Seabrook and Andrew Pittman, they're not with us this morning. Poor Andrew. Woo, woo, woo. He's suffering from allergies. You know, I know he was this big-time New York banker, right? He's on Wall Street. You know, he's uptown. He's doing it up. You know, wearing his Euro suits every day, on and off the subway, in his fancy shoes and all that. He figures he's gonna, because he's a Carolina boy. He's gonna come strutting into Tampa big time and all that stuff, and smack gets hit by allergies.
Beating him up. Be eyes swollen.
Both thing, man. I got some allergies for him, man. You know, he needs to drink more apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, or something like that. I don't know, man.
That's a good remedy.
You know, anyway, so he's not with us, and we want to wish Drew a speedy recovery. This is tough pollen season, and you know, just be aware of that as you go about what you're doing and things of that nature. Maybe you want to not wear your shoes in the house. Take your shoes off. We've been outside walking around. Don't walk those shoes inside the house.
Oh, that's a good.
You pick up a lot of pollen. Yeah, right, exactly. You know, one of Mama's old remedies. Take those shoes off, boy.
Yeah,
you think that can't? Well, somebody's gonna be mopping and sweeping. And Anthony Seabrook is a professor, everybody. He teaches, an active professor, and he's in spring classes on Saturday mornings, and so he's not with us today. But guess what that means?
What does that mean?
It's a free-for-all. It's all
about you.
Hey, listen, my mama said the worst thing you want to do is let that boy talk. But I'm happy to be here. I got DJ CEO here with me, hit on a couple topics. It's been a crazy week. And one of the things I want to talk about, just remind everybody, it is Black History Month. Wherever you are, please go out and take a moment to engage in something reflective of African American history in the United States. This country could not be what it is and will not be what it can be in the future without the full participation of African Americans and what we've contributed to the development of this country, its culture, its history. Take them, even if you're not African American, and if you are African American, take someone who's not African American and share some history with them as well. You'll be just amazed at the little things that you can learn about people and how we get to where we are. For example, I'll tell you real quick, little history. I was in New Orleans last year, DJ. Took the family up there. We went to the Whitney plantation out on the West Bank.
Yeah.
And the Whitney's, man, listen, if you haven't been out to the Whitney, anybody around the country, let me tell you something, the Whitney. In the 1920s, they did audio recordings of survivors of slavery. These were old people.
Right.
And they recorded those people, and now they've brought those actual recordings of former slaves of the Whitney plantation back to the plantation. And you can hear in the actual slave's voice how they recount their experience of slavery on that actual plantation.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't also know that there were a lot of Germans who came and were involved in the slave industry on that West Bank of New Orleans. See, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Who would have known it?
Involved in what respect?
They were landowners. They owned plantations. They owned slaves. They were heavily involved. And I thought it was French.
It was French.
I thought it was exactly. But heavy amount of German immigrants that came to America, bought land and owned plantations in that area. But that's what I mean to say. You get out and learn a little bit more about history, or learn something else about history. And so when your community celebrates other cultures, maybe Native Americans, the Hispanic, whatever it may be, engage in it a little bit, give you more perspective about ours. So I just want to encourage everybody, wherever you are around the country, take a minute. go out, talk to your kids about Black History Month. Let them know some facts, and just be aware that this history is important, and that we need to take the moment to share that with other people. Just makes our country a better place.
That's a good thing that I just want to point out about you and Samantha. Your wife, you all are good parents.
Well, thank you.
And I mean it. And so giving that example is I hope others take it to heart, because taking your kids to those kinds of things on a vacation.
Yes.
They need that. Our children need to know what their history is.
And here's my theory. I got a book. One day I'm going to write this book, and it's that you cannot explain life. You must live it.
That's good.
And so I think too often as parents, we're just talking about the world. We got to take our kids. For example, on a history note, for my daughter's 16th, we're going to Cuba.
Excellent.
And we're going to get there before anything changes, and we're hoping to be able to work with our local Congress people to get some liberties that will allow us to explore more of the island. But I'm not going because of a political side, one or the other.
Right.
I just want to see.
Well, as being a part of In Touch News, you definitely need to go and give your children a journalistic look.
Yes, and we can bring that back and have that put in your paper.
Absolutely,
we've done that. We did that with the I think for the inauguration.
Okay,
our kids did the inauguration with Barack Obama.
Yes,
and they did some stuff along those lines. But I absolutely will keep that in mind. We'll coordinate for spring break. That's what we're doing, because
you're good.
I'm a good. Okay, good. So anyway, so I just want to encourage you. But sorry, so I want to talk about Bernie Sanders. So Bernie's in the race. Bernie, I don't know what's a surprise. I was kind of interesting.
Your headphones may not be working.
Okay, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting in America. We're at a time when straight white men are unsure if they should be running for leadership.
I know.
Isn't that funny?
They scared.
I mean, it's just an interesting space of figuring the piece out with the time that was such indifference. Not to say that I don't think they still have a great chance of winning. I just think that it's just interesting. So Bernie says he's running for president. Let me throw out a couple questions. This is a call-in show, and if you listen, I'd love to hear from you. The call-in number is 813-444-9588, 813-444-9588. Also, check me out on YouTube at the In Touch News station, but channel. So Bernie comes out, and my first thought is Bernie too old? You know, people look at life looking forward, and I hate to say this, oftentimes when people get up in age, their view of the future shortens, and they look at the world going backwards. And I'll tell you why that is. If you listen to Donald Trump, I believe because of his age, he sees the world backwards. Nothing that he talks about really speaks to the future. It looks backwards. And my concern for Bernie is whether or not, so far that has not been apparently the case, but I don't know. That's the one. Do
you see that for Joe Biden as well?
Absolutely. And so Joe, I think Bernie is a one-man show. I see Joe Biden as more of a team.
Okay.
Joe Biden's been a politician a long time. I think he'd be able to frame himself with the right view. Bernie never let anyone associate with him but Bernie. Bernie's and that's why he's an independent.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the first thing is Bernie too old? That's my first question. Okay. I don't know. Is Bernie too?
How old is he?
I'm not. I think he's like 72, 74, somewhere. He'd be the oldest president by easily. I gotta say that. But he's around Trump's age. He's not too much older than Trump. But that's the first. Is he too old? I mean, are those millennials?
77.
Yeah. See, right. So he'd be the old by far. He's just, I don't see evidence of the age issue.
Joe Biden is 76.
Right. Exactly. So we got these two guys, very elderly type guys.
Donald Trump is 72.
Right. Okay. So that's is he too old? Second, is he too far left? And so here's my stress. So it's clear that Donald Trump is going to try to brand the Democratic Party as socialist. Why? He sees the world backwards. And back in the 60s and in the 50s, calling somebody a socialist was like calling them a communist.
Right.
And calling somebody a communist was like calling them a traitor.
Right.
That's exactly all that was. That is anti-American. That is what that is. And so when we hear socialist, you got to remember, though, most people today are like, what is a socialist? It doesn't evoke the visceral reaction of the people that fought World War II and come out of that 50s generation.
Right.
Most people go socialist saying, so why do I care?
Yeah.
Does it work? I don't know. Talk to me. They want to know more about that. What's going to come out is this. You have some socialist aspects in America. Social Security.
Right.
It's called Social Security. And the idea was that the government across the board was going to provide this safety net for older people.
Right.
And then we're going to provide a safety net for widows. And then we're going to provide a safety net for people who are disabled. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg argued a great case and said, if you're going to protect widows, then why don't you protect widowers? And that's how she comes to fame, is she argued that a man should get, because initially men didn't get their wives' Social Security.
Wow.
She came in and made the argument, well, if women get the men's Social Security, it's only fair that men get their wives if their wife dies.
Wow.
And that's how she comes to fame. That was one of her seminal cases that she argued
I didn't know that.
Of equal rights.
Yeah.
But socialism is where the government provides the system.
No, I pray for her every day, Beth.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Lord, please.
Can I do a quick Ginsburg speech?
Yes.
I mean, a Ginsburg moment. So when I was in law school and shortly after I graduated, Stetson University College of Law, #1 advocate law school in the country. I'm not advertising for them, but #1, check U.S. News and World Reports. #3 in research and writing as well. Located in the wonderful Gulf Coast city of Gulfport, Florida.
Yes.
Just a beautiful campus. But I had the chance to meet her, and we got a caller calling in. Let's take this call, and then I want to tell my story about Justice Ginsburg. Good morning, caller. You're on live with InTouch News. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Good morning. This is Carl calling.
Listen, man, I know you're an R. Kelly fan. I know you got a load of 8-track tapes and cassettes.
He can't throw them away.
Right. How did you tolerate me talking about R. Kelly and not call Suda? But how you doing this morning, Carl?
I'm doing good. R. Kelly is, I would say on R. Kelly, man, there's a personal responsibility for the family and the victim. So,
yeah. Got you. So what's on your mind? What's on your mind this morning on the political scheme?
Yeah, the political scheme is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders or whatever, I don't think he'll be a good candidate because he don't want to run as a Democrat. And a lot of the Democrats are not going to accept him as an independent. So he's not going to be able to get the votes that he needs in order, whatever, to for his candidacy. It's just not going to work on
Now, let me ask you. Now, are you saying that he won't get the votes in the primary, or if he got to a general, he won't get the votes?
No, he won't get the votes in the general. No, he won't.
In the general. You don't think there are enough people that just anybody but Trump, the never Trumpers?
Well, I think the Democratic, whatever Democratic candidate run probably would get more of the votes or whatever, but he's just not going to be able to overpower the Democratic candidate.
Now, okay. So, what about this socialist thing? Do you think that him being a Democrat, he calls himself a Democratic socialist? You think that's going to be a problem for him?
Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah, definitely it's a big problem.
Okay, now why is that a big problem?
It's because he's not really. I'm really confused about that one, but I don't think he's right.
Yeah, and you know what? And I think that's going to be a problem that a lot of people have. They're confused. Most people were confused when they realized, wait a minute, he's an independent. How did the Democrats let him in their caucus? How did you all let him run on the Democratic ticket when he's not a Democrat?
But and he's not going to get the financial support that he needs from the Democrats.
Wait a minute. Whoa. He got $6 million overnight almost.
But that's from some of his. Yeah, that's from the $50, $60 here, $100 there. He's getting from people that independent.
Okay.
And you may want to call Andrew and see how much he contributed to him.
Listen, man, I'm not sure how to take that. Now, you taking a dig or you trying to?
He took a swipe at him, didn't he?
Man, people will not listen. I will put the word out the next time you cross the state line. We'll be looking out. We'll have FX people be looking for you, man. Don't you do that? I agree with you. I think that Bernie definitely has some confusing aspect. I think the age piece are going to be definite pieces. Though. Well, hey, Carl, thank you for calling in, man. We appreciate you listening every morning. You be safe out there on the road, man, and stay warm, okay?
I will.
All right, man. Take care, man. And listen, okay, so we're going to come back, talk a little bit more about Bernie, and then guess what? Hey, everybody's on Mueller watch. What's going to happen? When is it going to come in? But, before we do, listen, I respect my callers. We're going to take this call real quick, okay? Caller, we're going to a break, but come on in. Caller, good morning. You're live on InTouch News Radio. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Lisa. I'm calling from Virginia.
Good morning, Lisa from Virginia. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm really enjoying the show.
Outstanding. So, Lisa, so you go ahead.
My comment or my question is whether or not what Bernie is talking about with the social programs of being more of a socialist, how that will work with our debt being the highest it has ever been in this country. Are more people going to be concerned about the social programs increasing that, or whether we're going to be working harder to try and decrease the national debt? I do like Bernie in a way, but I think he needs to be a little bit more polished.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but he just seems so jittery all the time, and maybe that's just a part of his age at this point. But I do like him as a person, and I'm just concerned about, I know there are lots of people who could benefit from more social programs, but I'm also concerned about how much our debt is growing and how quickly it's growing.
So let me ask you this, though. So if debt's a concern, aren't you concerned also that under the current administration that debt seems to be out of control, that it's just, rampant with the tax cuts and the spending for military?
Right, it is out of control because we've got a bunch of just billionaires and they're running the country and they're pretty much looking out for themselves. And I don't see where so much money is going to the inner cities.
Right, absolutely.
Programs to help more minorities. It just seems to be benefiting the wealthy or the top 10% at this point.
So if you're watching Bernie, you're looking for Bernie to explain how he's going to pay for some of his socialist programs.
Exactly. It would be great if they could find a way to help young people pay for college and not come out of college with so much debt. I really support that, and also other programs in the inner cities. I was reading, I can't think of his last name, but Chris, this guy who went into prison at like 14, and he finally got out, and now he's got several businesses, and he did a lot teaching himself while he was in there, but he had gotten life. And somehow, I haven't finished the book. He was on Trevor Noah the other night, and he turned his life completely around. But it's just it's just heartbreaking to read his story.
Right.
He grew up, and the prison system the way it is today and back then, it hasn't gotten any better.
Right. Well,
I think Bernie is on to something. I just don't know how that ties in. Is the debt separate from the social programs?
Right.
You found other ways to get money, so we're not still increasing our debt. I don't know.
Wow. Well, you bring up some really key. Those are some very, very key issues, and I think, Lisa, you represent the kind of listeners we have on this show, well-read, informed, all around the country. Well, you stay warm up there in Virginia. Enjoy that snowstorm you all had up there, and let's see what Bernie says about this funding stuff. Thanks for calling, Lisa. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, listen, caller, we got to go to a quick break. I got 5 minutes here. I got DJ CEO telling me you get off this doggone radio and let me make some money. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back with some closing remarks. You're listening to InTouch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody's a star.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station.
On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
InTouch Radio.
My name is Gil Sampson. I didn't come from a very rich family, and so paying for college would have been very tough. I don't know if I would have been able to go to the college that I went to, and then I don't know if I would have gotten into the career that I am in. So I think Bright Futures has done a lot to shape my life. Got a job as a structural engineer, and I design residential buildings, commercial buildings all over the United States. Because of Bright Futures, I was able to go to college. You know, so many kids just don't even ever get that opportunity, and to be able to do it and not have any debt when I graduated is amazing, and it was all thanks to Bright Futures.
Florida has created more than 1 million jobs in only 5 years, and a great education connects our students to these exciting opportunities. That's why the Florida Lottery has funded Bright Futures scholarships to help over 725,000 students attend college. Because every play is for education. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Been in a car crash? Call Ricky. Don't know what to do? Ask Ricky. We will connect you with a lawyer and doctor experienced in auto accident injuries. Call Ricky at 844-361-7425. After an auto accident, you have 14 days to seek medical attention. You may be in pain. So call Ricky, ask Ricky for your best options. 844-361-7425. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal and medical referral service. The lawyers in our network pay to receive referrals.
All right, we're back live in Text News. Listen, Text News Radio. Listen, I only got a couple of seconds here. I had a list of things. If you're watching on Facebook or watching on radio, I'm holding up my papers, my sheet. I got a list of stuff on this thing that I wanted to get to, man. One of them was the Mueller investigation, potential wind down. And the question I want you all to mull over this week, and let's talk about it next week. If Mueller's report does not result in charges, should it still be made public? Kind of like Jim Comey did with Hillary. He didn't charge her, but by doing what he did, so many things were put in the public discourse, the public could still make judgment calls and decisions based on the information. But the rumor is, and they allegate he's about to finish up his report, and I'm sure my friends to my right, Anthony Pittman and Tony Seabrook, they will have some great, interesting commentary about that. But I want everybody to be paying attention as we go into next week. Watch what comes out of this Mueller report. I want to talk about Venezuela. Please pray for those people and they can figure out what is the direction that they're going to go next week. But I want you to pay attention also to the Mueller report, Venezuela, the situation with R. Kelly. We're going to North Korea. Michael Cohen's going to testify. But pay attention to those things as we go through next week. And if you would, make some notes. And keep us in mind so that when we get on the air next Saturday, you're ready to come in and call and talk about what things you've been seeing happening. Because listen, reality radio means it's real. It's reality. It's really what's happening. It's what you all think. It's what you all see is happening in our community. And that matters a lot because we're going to be going to the ballots very, very soon. And what you think and believe matters a lot. As always, I want to thank my co-host, even in absentia, also DJ CEO. Appreciate you very much. Hey, y'all, get ready. I think it's Ebony Cruz coming up next. So stay tuned. Very much. Hey, y'all, get ready. I think it's Ebony Cruz coming up next. So stay tuned.
looking for some super dynamite soul.
Yeah, boy. You've come to the right place. In Touch Radio. In Touch Radio. In Touch Radio.
The following program aired earlier. This is a replay.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is